Galactic Council demanded tribute from Earth, but got a terrifying answer. The massive ship of the Galactic Council darkened the skies over Sol. It stretched nearly 10 kilometers across, blocking the sun and casting an eerie shadow over the city. People looked up in fear and wonder as smaller craft descended toward the United Earth Government headquarters. Do-hyun stood on the rooftop landing pad, his face calm despite the hurricane of emotions inside him. As Earth's chief diplomat, he had prepared for first contact for years, but not like this. Not with ships that made their most advanced technology look like children's toys. Next to him, General Jisoo straightened her uniform jacket. "I don't like this," she whispered. "They didn't announce themselves before entering our atmosphere. That's not how peaceful visitors act." "Let's hear them out," Do-hyun replied, though he shared her concern. The alien craft landed with surprising grace. Its doors opened to reveal three beings that walked on four legs. Their skin shimmered with a blue-green light, and their three eyes blinked in different patterns. "I am Envoy," the tallest one said through a device on its chest. The translation came out in perfect, unaccented Korean. "I speak for the Galactic Council, the united government of 312 spacefaring species." Do-hyun bowed slightly. "I am Do-hyun, speaking for the United Earth Government. We welcome you to our world." Envoy made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your welcome is noted but unnecessary. We have been observing Earth for many cycles. We know of your wars, your pollution, your primitive technology. But we also know something you do not." The alien touched a device on its wrist, and a holographic map of the galaxy appeared between them. A blue dot pulsed where Earth would be. "Your planet sits at the crossing of 7 cosmic energy lines. These pathways are extremely valuable to advanced civilizations. You have built cities on top of power sources you cannot even detect." Jisoo stepped forward. "If you're here to share this technology, we are not." Envoy cut her off. "The Council requires tribute from all worlds that benefit from our protection. Earth will provide 30% of its material resources and 10% of its population." The words hung in the air like poison. "Population?" Do-hyun repeated, his diplomatic mask slipping. "You want our people?" "For labor assignments throughout Council space," Envoy said casually. "Your species is remarkably adaptable. You will serve well in the mines of Beltar and the assembly plants of Rigel 9. Jisoo's hand moved toward her sidearm, but Do-hyun touched her arm gently. "And if we refuse?" he asked. All three of Envoy's eyes focused on him. "Then we will take what we need by force. Your weapons cannot harm our ships. Your planet has no defenses against our technology. Many species have chosen resistance. All have fallen." Envoy handed Do-hyun a small crystal. "This contains the details of our requirements and collection points. You have 30 standard rotations to begin the tribute process." Without another word, the aliens returned to their craft and ascended to the mothership. As soon as they were alone on the roof, Jisoo exploded. "Slaves! They want us as slaves!" Do-hyun stared at the crystal in his hand. "Get me a secure line to all UEG Council members, and contact Director Minji at Pektu Mountain Facility. Tell her it's time." 30 minutes later, in the emergency bunker 300 meters below Seoul, Do-hyun addressed the gathered leaders. "The Galactic Council has demanded tribute," he said simply. "They want our resources and our people." The room erupted in angry voices until President Taiho raised his hand. "What options do we have?" General Jisoo stepped forward. "Sir, I recommend we activate Protocol Omega." A hushed silence fell over the room. "Are we ready?" President Taiho asked. Do-hyun nodded. "We've been preparing for this possibility since we detected their scout ships 20 years ago. Director Minji's team has completed the dimensional phasing technology. Our deep space installations are fully operational." On the main screen, Minji's face appeared from her laboratory beneath Mount Pektu. "The technology works, Mr. President. We can shift matter partially out of conventional space-time. Our weapons, our ships, our troops, they'll never see them coming." President Taiho looked around the room at Earth's leaders. One by one they nodded. "Very well," he said finally. We will appear to comply while activating our defenses. The Galactic Council thinks we're primitive and helpless. His eyes hardened. They're about to learn how dangerous humans can be when threatened. Do-hyun looked up at the ceiling, imagining the massive alien ship above. They came expecting tribute, he said quietly. Instead, they'll get a war. The enormous alien ship hovered above Seoul like a dark cloud that never moved. People tried to continue their daily lives, but fear made everything difficult. News of the Galactic Council's demand had spread worldwide, causing panic despite government attempts to keep things calm. In the underground facility beneath Mount Pektu, Minji worked without rest. The dimensional phasing lab hummed with activity as scientists and engineers prepared Earth's secret weapon. Minji had discovered how to shift matter partially out of normal spacetime 15 years ago. What began as a strange physics experiment had turned into humanity's best hope for survival. The phase generators are at 92% efficiency, Minji reported, brushing her hair from tired eyes. She hadn't slept properly in days. We can hide an entire fleet if we need to. Across the room, Sunwoo checked the weapon systems. As Earth's top military engineer, he had designed cannons that could fire through dimensional shifts. The phase cannons work perfectly in tests. The aliens won't see them coming until it's too late. And the shields? Do-hyun asked as he entered the lab. Dark circles under his eyes showed he was sleeping as little as everyone else. Ready, Minji answered. Once activated, they'll protect our major cities by shifting incoming attacks into another dimension. Do-hyun nodded. Good. The council observers arrive tomorrow to begin the tribute assessment. We need to look weak and scared. On the surface, Earth's governments publicly announced preparation for the tribute collection. Special centers were built in major cities. Long lines of people waited to be registered. The alien observers watched with satisfaction, unaware that these centers were actually evacuation points leading to underground shelters. In Washington, D.C., President Taiho addressed the world. We must comply with the Council's demands while we seek peaceful solutions, he said, his words carefully chosen to sound defeated. Meanwhile, the message sent through secure channels told the real story. Protocol Omega is active. All military units prepare for Phase 0. Hyunwoo coordinated the global evacuation from the Tokyo Command Center. As head of Earth's Unified Defense Forces, he had trained for alien invasion scenarios for years but never expected to actually use those plans. Seoul Sector is at 60% evacuation, reported his assistant. People are moving through the subway tunnels to the mountain shelters. Good, Hyunwoo replied. And the council observers? Still watching the fake processing centers. They haven't noticed anything unusual. In orbit, hidden by dimensional technology, Earth's secret space fleet prepared for battle. These ships had been built in underground facilities and launched in secret over the past decade. Captain Jiwoo checked the systems on her destroyer, the EDS Defender. All ships report ready, her first officer said. Maintain phase cloak, Jiwoo ordered. We wait for the signal. Back at Mount Pektu, Minji made final adjustments to the phase network. The system of satellites would extend dimensional shifting capabilities worldwide when activated. The council thinks we're primitive, she said to Do-hyun, who watched her work. They have no idea what's coming. How long have you known? Do-hyun asked. About the aliens, I mean. Minji looked up from her work. The government brought me in 20 years ago when we detected their scout ships. We found one that crashed in the Arctic. That's where we learned about their technology and their plans for Earth. That night, Envoy met with Do-hyun in Seoul. The alien seemed pleased with Earth's apparent cooperation. Your people show wisdom in accepting their place, Envoy said. Many species resist at first. It only leads to unnecessary suffering. Do-hyun bowed his head, playing the part of the defeated diplomat. We want to avoid conflict. Humans value peace above all. An admirable trait, Envoy replied. The first collection ships arrive tomorrow. Have your tribute ready. After the alien left, Do-hyun contacted Hyunwoo. They suspect nothing. Prepare For Phase 1. Across Earth, people continued filing into the supposed tribute centers while actually entering evacuation tunnels. Military units moved into position, hidden by phase technology. In orbit, the fleet waited. The Council believed they faced a primitive species ready to surrender. They had no idea that humans had been preparing for this moment for decades. They would soon discover just how dangerous Earth could be. The collection ships arrived precisely on schedule. 7 massive vessels, each larger than an aircraft carrier, descended through Earth's atmosphere and positioned themselves over the designated tribute centers. Envoy watched from the command deck of the lead ship, satisfied that everything was proceeding according to plan. "Begin resource extraction," he ordered. The ships lowered their collection tubes, enormous hollow cylinders that stretched down to touch the ground. Powerful tractor beams activated, designed to pull up thousands of tons of materials, and eventually, humans. But something was wrong. "Sir, the collection readings are inconsistent," reported a technician. "We're getting only 30% of expected tribute." Envoy frowned. "Check your instruments. The humans have shown complete compliance." After repeated checks showed the same results, Envoy contacted the Council's high command. Within hours, a new ship arrived, sleeker and more menacing than the EU collection vessels. From it emerged Enforcer, a being whose species specialized in dealing with troublesome planets. Enforcer summoned Do-hyun to an immediate meeting at the Seoul headquarters. Unlike the diplomatic envoy, Enforcer wore battle armor and stood nearly 7 feet tall. His skin was dark red and his eyes glowed with barely contained anger. "Your species is deceiving the Council," Enforcer stated bluntly. "Our scans show your tribute centers are largely empty. Where are your people?" Do-hyun maintained his diplomatic calm. "We've had some logistical challenges. Many humans live in remote areas." "Do not lie." Enforcer slammed a fist on the table, cracking it. "Our deep scans show unusual energy signatures beneath your cities. What are you hiding?" Before Do-hyun could answer, an alarm sounded on Enforcer's wrist device. He checked it, his expression changing from anger to confusion. "Impossible," he whispered. "We're detecting massive energy spikes worldwide." Do-hyun smiled for the first time. "You've been watching us for decades. Did you really think we wouldn't notice?" Enforcer's eyes widened. "The scout ships?" "Yes, the ones you sent." 20 years ago, Do-hyun confirmed. "We captured one that crashed, studied it, learned from it." Around the world, the phase network activated. Massive hidden installations beneath mountains and oceans powered up. The dimensional barriers that had hidden Earth's true military strength began to drop, revealing what the aliens had never suspected. "We've known about your arrival for generations," Do-hyun continued. "We've been preparing." Enforcer reached for his weapon but found himself unable to move. The room's gravity had suddenly increased, pinning him in place. Another application of Earth's dimensional technology. "Did you know about the prophecy of the third planet?" Do-hyun asked casually. Fear flashed across Enforcer's face. "That's just a myth told by primitive species. Is it? The blue world whose children would one day challenge the Council's dominance? The species that would free the galaxy from your kind of tyranny?" Enforcer struggled against the gravity field. "You can't possibly match our technology. The Council rules 300 worlds." The building shook as explosions sounded in the distance. Through the window, Do-hyun watched as one of the collection ships listed to the side, struck by weapons. It couldn't see. "We reviewed your history of exploitation," Do-hyun said. "Earth will not be another conquered world in your collection." General Jisoo entered the room, flanked by soldiers wearing phase shift armor that seemed to flicker in and out of visibility. "All defense grids are active," she reported. "Our ships have engaged the collection fleet." "You have ships?" Enforcer gasped, genuine shock in his voice. "We have many things you don't know about," Do-hyun replied. "While you were watching our cities, you should have been watching our mountains, our oceans, our orbital installations." On his communicator, Enforcer received frantic messages from the Council fleet. Earth ships were appearing out of nowhere, firing weapons that bypassed alien shields. And worse, Several council member species were breaking formation, turning against their own fleet. "You've made a terrible mistake," Enforcer warned, desperation in his voice. "The council will bring its full might against your world." Do-hyun looked at him with something like pity. "We're counting on it. In fact, we've prepared a special greeting for them when they arrive." Outside, the sky filled with the light of battle, as Earth revealed its true power to the stars. Captain Sunwoo stood on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Thunderbolt, watching the battle unfold across the viewscreens. The dimensional phase technology gave Earth's fleet a critical advantage. They could shift partially out of normal space, becoming almost invisible to the Council's targeting systems. "Target their propulsion systems," Sunwoo ordered. "The weapons." Officer nodded and the Thunderbolt's phase cannons fired, the energy beam seeming to bend through dimensions before striking a Council cruiser. The alien ship's engines flared and died. In orbit around Earth, the battle had escalated quickly. When Enforcer had failed to report back, the Council had sent their main fleet, over 50 warships that dwarfed anything humans had built before. Yet they found themselves facing an enemy they couldn't properly see or target. "Captain, we're receiving transmissions from several Council vessels," reported the communications officer. "They're not attacking, they're requesting alliance." Sunwoo raised an eyebrow. "Put it through." The main screen flickered to show an alien with purple skin and 4 eyes. "This is Captain Talon of the Talresian vessel Starblade. For generations, our people have suffered under Council rule. We will fight with Earth if you will have us." Similar messages came from the Medusan ships and vessels from 3 other species. Nearly a quarter of the Council fleet had broken away, turning their weapons against their former masters. On Earth's surface, Minji monitored the dimensional grid from the command center beneath Mount Paktu. "The network is stable," she reported, to General Jisoo. "Phase shift technology operating at 94% capacity." "Good," Jisoo replied. "What about the Council's reinforcements?" Minji checked her displays. "Long-range sensors detect a massive fleet entering our solar system, at least 200 ships." Jisoo nodded grimly. "Time to activate the Sol Gate." Deep, in the space between Earth and Mars, a massive structure had remained hidden in dimensional phase for years. Now it emerged, a ring-shaped device over 5 kilometers wide. As the Council reinforcements approached, the Sol Gate powered up. Aboard the Thunderbolt, Sunwoo received the alert. "All Earth vessels move to defensive positions. Prepare for Phase 2. The Council Fleet Commander, Admiral, watched in horror as the human ships suddenly vanished from his sensors. Where did they go? Find them. His tactical officer worked frantically at the controls. "Sir, we're detecting a massive energy surge ahead. Something is forming between us and Earth." The Sol Gate activated fully, creating a dimensional portal. Through it came Earth's second fleet, ships that had been stationed in bases throughout the galaxy, hidden from Council detection for years. Leading them was the massive Dreadnought Protector, the largest warship humans had ever built. Admiral stared in disbelief. "Impossible, humans don't have the technology for dimensional travel. They don't have bases beyond their system." But the evidence was undeniable as hundreds of Earth ships poured through the gate, joined by vessels from a dozen other species, all former subjects of the Council who had secretly allied with humanity. On the Protector's bridge, Fleet Admiral Yuna took command of the combined forces. "All ships engage according to plan. Remember, we're fighting for all free species today." The battle turned decisively as the Council fleet found itself caught between 2 forces. Their superior numbers meant little against enemies who could phase in and out of normal space, striking and disappearing before return fire could target them. In the Seoul Command Center, Do-hyun watched the battle reports with Enforcer still restrained nearby. "How?" the alien demanded. "How did primitive humans develop technology that even the Council hasn't mastered?" Do-hyun smiled slightly. "We had help. Not every species in the galaxy agrees with the Council's methods, and humans have a particular talent for turning survival into an art form." Above Earth, the once mighty Council fleet began to retreat, their losses mounting by the minute. The first battle for Earth's freedom would soon be over, but the war was just beginning. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council fell silent as Supreme Leader entered. Once the most powerful being in the known galaxy, he now walked with less confidence. The defeat at Earth had shaken the Council to its core. Behind him came an honor guard escorting Earth's representatives, Do-Hyun and Jisoo. "This emergency session will now begin," announced the Council speaker. Representatives from 300 species filled the massive hall. Many looked at the humans with fear, others with curiosity, and some with newfound respect. Supreme Leader took his place at the center platform. "We are here to discuss terms with Earth." He nearly choked on the word. Do-Hyun stepped forward. The human appeared small in the enormous chamber, but his voice carried clearly. "The Galactic Council demanded tribute from Earth 30 days ago. Today we deliver our answer." With a gesture from Do-Hyun, the chamber's main display activated. It showed a galaxy map with thousands of points of light beginning to glow. "For decades, your council has observed Earth, believing us primitive and helpless," Do-Hyun continued. "While you watched our cities, you failed to see what we were building. While you monitored our communications, you missed what we were planning." The map zoomed in to show detailed images of hidden human bases on planets throughout Council space. Phase-shifted installations that had remained undetected for years. "Earth does not pay tribute," Do-Hyun declared. "We collect it." Gasps and shouts filled the chamber. Supreme Leader's face darkened with rage. Impossible. No single species could establish such a presence without detection. "We had help," Jisoo replied, stepping forward. "From every world your council has oppressed. Your labor camps, your mining colonies. For years they've been secretly working with us." On cue, representatives from 20 formerly subjugated species stood up among the council members. The chamber erupted in chaos. When order was finally restored, Do-Hyun spoke again. "Humanity stands not just for Earth, but for all beings suffering. Under Council rule, we offer a choice: reform or defeat." In orbit around the Council homeworld, the combined fleet of Earth and allied species held position. The dimensional technology that had given Earth its advantage was now shared with former Council victims. The balance of power had shifted completely. 3 days of tense negotiations followed. Finally, Supreme Leader faced Do-Hyun across the table for the signing of the peace treaty. "We knew humans were dangerous," Supreme Leader admitted quietly, so only Do-Hyun could hear. "The ancient text spoke of the third planet's children. That's why we demanded tribute immediately, before you could reach your potential." "You never imagined we already had," Do-Hyun replied. "The treaty established a new galactic alliance with Earth as a founding member. The Council would continue to exist, but with reformed powers and democratic representation. Dimensional technology would be shared with all peaceful worlds." 1 month later, Minji stood with Do-Hyun on the observation deck of Earth's new orbital station. Below them, their planet looked peaceful, showing no signs of the conflict that had nearly consumed it. "Was it worth the risk?" Minji asked. "We gambled everything on this plan." "Freedom always requires risk," Do-Hyun answered. "But we've gained more than just our own safety. We've changed the galaxy." Beyond the viewport, ships from dozens of worlds prepared for the first official mission of the new alliance, an expedition to unexplored space. Earth vessels flew alongside those of former enemies and new allies. "What happens now?" Minji wondered. Do-Hyun smiled. "Now we explore the universe as equals, not as conquerors or as servants, but as something the galaxy has rarely seen. True partners." In the vastness of space, the combined fleet activated their dimensional drives and disappeared in flashes of light, carrying the hope of a new era with them. The end.